So you want to check out some live music tonight in Ottawa, but you're not sure of where to start looking? Maybe you're not even sure what you're in the mood for. I've got a website for you. Go to ottawagigs.ca. They have everything you need. Bands, artists, styles, venues, times, even the cost to get in. It's all at your fingertips on an easy-to-use website, ottawagigs.ca. Go discover the incredible talent, the amazing venues, and the exciting nightlife that Ottawa has to offer. Start your night with ottawagigs.ca, your guide to the gig.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Born and raised in South Bay, lower class punk ass, I was Northwood grade. I had it made. Spent my nights drinking with my mates. Just a short bus ride up to PA. Red River Raid. Then I hit the wall and I knew I had to bounce. They still say that 19 years ago. Hell, I got the hell out. From time to time, you may see me hanging around. Now I feel like a stranger in this town. Crossing the roads is where I learned to play. Westwood Tavern's where I learned to walk away.
Hey, this is Mike. This is Ego and Vice, episode 156. 156. That's right. I'm back again. Season 8 keeps rolling along. I'm not doing as much as I normally do. I haven't anyway since I've been back for season 8. But I'm so busy. I'm so busy with my bands. I'm so busy with everything that's just kind of going on in my life. As I always say, the podcast will always be here, at least until season 10. At least until my 10-year anniversary. Then I'm going to consider retiring and or passing Ego and Vice on to somebody else. I haven't decided yet. Who could it be? Who would it be? Who would it be? Maybe I haven't met them yet. I actually have a few people in mind if I ever did something like that. But it's like my baby. Could I release it? Out into the world, out into the wild, into the responsible hands or irresponsible hands of a stranger? We'll see. It's a ways off. Until then, Ego and Vice will roll on. Vastly approaching June 14th, which is the Riptides, my band the Riptides, record release show. It is Ripfest. It's with the Ripcords out of Montreal. Wet for Days, amazing band. My friend Sarah Gott used to play with me in my band Goat, which is trudging along as well. Is that a bad word, trudging? I should say speeding along. Modestly driving the speed limit along, getting back on its feet, if you will, on its hooves. At the Dom, Ripfest, Riptides record release. It's going to be great. You should go. Tickets now available. Go to Pirates Press Records. Go to theriptides.com. Anywhere you can find stuff. You should find it. On the podcast today, I have a guest, two guests actually, from a band that I had actually reached out to before Christmas, probably in the fall, and I wanted to have them on. But I was a little premature in inviting them because they were in the process of recording music and kind of, building something. And the scheduled date that they were supposed to be on, we changed it till now. And I'm glad I did because the conversation went great. Super friendly. And the one person that got a free t-shirt is Vic because she was on for the third time. You know her, you love her. She's back again. She's becoming furniture here on Ego and Vice. But Vic, if you're listening, you're always welcome. And Keean and Vic from the band The Hunt Club, who are on the Ego and Vice today, also live in South Ottawa. We're Southies. Proud Southies. We talk a little bit about that in our conversation, which is coming up. The Hunt Club just released a new single. It's called The Last Train to Ajax. Awesome song. And they're in the process of writing and recording. And there's a bunch of new stuff coming out. 2025 is going to be a big year for The Hunt Club. A big year for Ego and Vice. And a big year for me. But, as you know, in the summertime, I always take some time off. Because wintertime, I live on the mountain. Summertime, I live on my bike. So, come like maybe July, I'm calling her quits for a couple of months like I do every year. I take my winter break, take my summer break. So, May and June are going to be really, really busy for Ego and Vice. Probably have an episode each week because I'm pretty booked up. Anyway, till we get there, let's get to this episode. Episode 156 with Keean and Vic of The Hunt Club. I'm going to play a song from Keean's other band, previous band, called No Hits. There's only one Hunt Club song available right now. But the talent is generational. His past band to his new band to his future band. Who knows? Maybe I'll play a song that isn't written yet. I probably won't. I don't have the technology. I wish I did. But here on Ego and Vice, we are very technically sound. So technically sound that some music's coming your way. This is a song called You and I Are Gonna Be All Right. It's from No Hits. And after that, we're coming back with Keean, with Vic, The Hunt Club, right here on Ego and Vice.
Daddy's not paying for your ride on. Mama's only got $1 in her pocket, and we work too hard for too damn long to just throw in the towel and stop it. Your grandmother loves you and you know it 'cause you keep her words inside your lockets. Oh. So where's the story gonna come from?
Hey, we're back. This is Mike. This is Ego and Vice, episode 156. As promised in the intro, I have two members of the local band, The Hunt Club. Good Southie Ottawa band. Represent the south, the south end.
True.
I have Keean.
That's right.
And welcome back, Vic.
Hey.
A third time's a charm. Every time someone is on Ego and Vice for a third time, they get a free t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully in the picture of this episode, Vic will at least be holding up her brand new free t-shirt for the trifecta of Ego and Vice. Let's hear it for it, folks.
Woo, woo, woo.
So, Keean, thank you for coming back. Well, let's break that down.
No.
I had reached out to you probably last year, 2024, before
Yeah,
Christmas,
like
like in the fall-ish, I think.
Yeah.
And I was explaining most of the people I have or artists that I have on the show, are word of mouth from the previous guest to the previous guest. And since I've been doing this podcast over the last couple of years, and the Ottawa music scene out of the pandemic, the explosion that is the Ottawa community of music, so many people I've met, so many great bands, and one name that kept popping up was The Hunt Club. And I'm like, what a cool name, because, again, I'm a South Ottawa type of guy. Right. And Hunt Club is kind of a big street in Ottawa, in the south end of Ottawa.
Yeah. For us Southies.
Southies. That's right. It's like Boston. Oh, you're from Southie. Yeah.
From Southie Bass.
Yeah, down by the bars. Okay. So anyway, I called you up, or I sent you a message, and I said, how would you like to be on the podcast? You said, sure. Yeah. And it was all kind of set to go. And then it got closer to the date, and I started to kind of look, and I said, whoa, you don't have any music or stuff? It was a little premature, let's say, in the band's wherever it was. Yeah. So I sent you messages. I said, hey, can we reschedule, maybe postpone this until a little bit longer? Let's give it some more time. Yeah. Maybe get some music out. And you said, absolutely. You were very cool about it. I felt bad because it was my fault for maybe reaching out prematurely.
Stop it, Mike.
Oh, stop it. And,
stop it.
So I reached out again because Vic, the second time she was on, almost getting the t-shirt. She said, how do I get a free t-shirt? I said, you have to be here 3 times. And I said, well, are you in any other bands? And she said, well, I'm in the Hunt Club. And I said, no shit. And I said, I owe that guy a second chance or a second episode.
And we had music out by then. So.
That's right. That's right.
We finally had the one song out. We weren't the skin and bones.
The funny thing is that I actually asked when Vic was on the last time, when she said, I'm in the Hunt Club, I said, oh, there's a song? So I finally heard the song, and I said, I should play it on her episode. And she was in the midst of texting you, and I was like, oh, wait. Maybe we should wait till he's on the show, right?
Which is so reasonable.
Yeah. So here you are. I wrote you up. You said, yes, let's do it. Yeah. We found a date. You came over. You're sitting here. You're drinking a decaf because that's all I have. How are you? It's great to meet you.
It's great to meet you too, man. I'm doing real peachy. It's really nice to be here. It's a cozy, sweet little studio. It's making me feel nice and at home. It makes me feel like I am truly one of the South Side gang that we have created today.
I think that's I think it's very important to represent the area of the city that you're from. Like in New York, you say, where are you from? I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
You don't say I'm from like New York. You say I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
I'm from Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. Right?
So. I feel like even in Toronto, you at least say where in Toronto you're from. Ottawa, you're just like, yeah, it's Ottawa.
I know. But it's South. It's South. You're South. Yeah. You should write a song called Last Train to Southie.
Last Train to Southie. Last Train to the South Side.
You know what it was? The O train was actually the first train to Southie.
So there we go. We can go full circle. We can write first train to Southie.
Nice.
First O train to Southie. It'll be about my first time on the new O train line.
Right. I remember my friend used to live down by Preston, and the tracks ran, and he used to take it right up to South Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. Go to Little Italy.
The pencil route.
Yep.
You gotta love it.
First train to Southie. Very good. So, let's talk about the Hunt Club. Yeah. I think we can't really talk about the Hunt Club because we want to talk more about. We will talk about the Hunt Club. have a song which we were going to get to, and it's called "Last Train to Ajax."
Yeah.
That leads me to believe that you're not originally from Ottawa.
So I am originally from Ottawa. The song was, it's a long convoluted story, as most songs truly are. The song was just about a person that I was with, but at the time when I wrote it, it was more of like a song about yearning for somebody. The person the song's about is from Ajax. It's about their last train that they were getting home to Ajax. That was what the song was originally about. I think the best way that I describe it is a lot of my songs that I write, I'll come up with the name first, weirdly enough, and I'll kind of base the entire song around the name. So I'll kind of like, as a lot of songwriters will have like the idea for a song, or like, I want to write something about this, I'll kind of take it the step further and I'll give it the name first, and then I'll go, okay, well, if I know that the name is this, how can I kind of center it around that? And I've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of like the Canadiana style music that I've grown up listening to. The hip obviously is a big one in particular, so I always like squeezing in little stuff either based around like where I'm from or the country that I'm from into like little bits of songs. And I like it especially when the names of the towns are like just a little funky. I'm not going crazy like Gore did by, you know, putting a name of a town like Ottawa or something, and
Bob Cajun.
Yeah, I'm not going as convoluted as that and like naming all these big long syllable.
You can be like that dude from
towns.
the Chili Peppers who always throws in California. And,
Yeah, exactly. Ontariofication.
Yeah, right.
Into
That'd
just
be
all of
the
this.
saddest thing ever.
Oh my god, that would be, yeah. Californication's a sad one lyrically, but I think the Ontario one would just be miserable.
So when did you start writing songs? When did you? Give us a brief history of your life growing up in Ottawa and when music kind of came into the picture. For the good listener,
I always really liked singing. I think the first time I can remember singing was this is so funny. I'm actually like literally just remembering this for the first time now. The first time that I ever sang was, I think I was 7 years old, and I was in grade 1 at my elementary school, which is literally not too far from here, Holy Family. And these guys a grade above me asked me to do a cover of Bad Day by Daniel Poulter with them. And like I didn't have like a whole lot of friends in grade 1, so I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that.
who does?
No, exactly.
They had you do the Alvin and the Chipmunks song.
Yeah, literally. They made me do, and you know what's so funny? It literally was around the time that movie came out. So they literally did it because they were like, Alvin and the Chipmunks, it's so topical. And then after I did that, I just felt, I don't know, I felt really good doing it. I loved singing, and I thought that it was just a really fun hobby. Writing songs, I kind of just did it for fun, probably from like grade 8, so age like 13, I guess. 13 for something like that. Time's a construct.
No hits.
Yeah. The boys.
Quite a successful band. You saw
Yeah.
some success in that band.
Yeah.
I was doing some research on it. Singles like Please, 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 Peach Tea, Swim,
Yeah.
Saratoga.
Woo.
Racking up some pretty good numbers on the old Spotify.
Yeah.
How long were you in that band?
It was 7 years. It was 7 years. Yeah, it was a crazy run. I started up that band when I was in high school. Also really close to here at Brookfield, just down the way. But yeah, I started that band up with Tommy Graham. And then in the end I was doing it with Robbie Veluso, Jack, who couldn't join us tonight because he's a little
Womp womp.
farter.
Is he a drummer?
No, he's Jack from Neon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm running out of T-shirts to.
To give to the third timers.
Yeah, right.
I know. Well, I'm glad that he didn't
Why you
come
couldn't
then.
be
Then
here.
That's right.
Exactly. Then we would have been down 2 extra. And no hits. Rylan. Rylan James was
Get
our
it straight,
was
man.
our bassist.
Get it straight now.
But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and yeah, the things that we got to do in that band were insane. I got to go on 2 really fun tours, and we just, I don't know, it was a sweet little family that we had in the no hits circle.
So what happened? I can imagine band life. Bands weren't made to last forever unless you're like the Rolling Stones or something, and you can play till you're 80. Sure, you can do that. You know, some bands are a moment in time. Mm-hmm. You have a great time. You do what you can do. You kind of peak, and then you kind of maybe find other avenues to go down.
Yeah.
So I was reading that I guess you guys took a hiatus or some time away or something, and you started writing. You started doing more of your own thing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
In saying?
Yeah. So it kind of just got to a point where, well, I made a promise to myself. No Hits had gone through a lot of lineup changes, just with a lot of different moving bodies, and the guys that originally I was in the band with in high school, a bunch of them either moved away to do different things or they were going, to start school somewhere else. So it was one of those things where after so many changes happened, I just kind of said, you know what, if it happens again, I feel like we need to kind of put this on the back burner because we can only make so many changes and continue doing the things we want to do with it. You kind of just take those couple of steps back.
That's a tough age of your life to like late teens, early 20s to try to concrete a band down because everyone's kind of not sure what they want to do yet.
Absolutely.
And you have that pocket in time where everything's kind of clicking, but then one day you're like, yeah, I'm going to move to China.
No, exactly.
But the band. Oh yeah, right. Well,
No, exactly. And like there's no ill will towards it, and we had a great dynamic together. But yeah, it just when Neon started going in a really, really positive direction, I know Jack wanted to really focus on that with the guys because they were all dedicated to it, and I completely understood it. And they're doing amazing things now, and that makes me so happy for them. But as soon as he said that, I knew in my head, I was like, you know what? I think that we need to kind of put it on the back burner now and just take that little pause. So I took a little bit of time away from writing, and then Jack actually approached me after about 6 months away from that. They were putting together the St. Patty's Neighborhood Noise Show, and he said, "Listen, we need a third act on the bill." Third act, and he asked if the Hunt Club wanted to be that.
That was before I was even in the
I was going to ask, where did you March 17th, 2024, Neighborhood Noise. That's the St. Patty's show. That would make sense with the timeline, right? Yeah. March 17th. You were already the Hunt Club. Was it just you, or you had some people?
So I originally was starting it, and it was going to be like a solo project and a solo venture. When Jack reached out about the show, I kind of was having the dilemma of if I wanted to play it by myself, and I liked the songs that I had, but I kind of had a tough time figuring out if I wanted them to come to the light of day with just me and an acoustic guitar, or if I wanted there to be a band playing with me. And I knew that I wanted extra members, and I remember bringing it up one day when I was working the open mic with Vic, and Vic very graciously offered up to play and to do bass and sing with me, and I immediately jumped on the offer because me and Vic had done a couple of little covers together at open mic here and there, and I don't know, it was always fun. I think our voices always match well together, and and then we just got off running.
Vic, is that where you met him for the first time?
Oh no. I was friends with Keean when No Hits was still happening. Yeah. I was originally friends with their aforementioned bassist. Shout out Rylan again.
Yeah. The little guy.
Yeah. The little guy.
The little 6'2" guy.
Yeah.
What part of Ottawa was he from?
He's from
I don't know.
He's currently residing on the west side.
West side,
right now.
They're all tall over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tall Westboro people.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No. Anyways, I think the first time we actually had a conversation was at Herdman Station. You guys were coming back from recording at Rob's for No Hits. And
Last
I was
bus
just
to Herdman.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I was on my way home from work, and I had to cut the conversation short because I really had to go to the bathroom. So I was like, bye guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then I started going to the open mic, and we had done a couple covers at the open mic.
Yeah.
Because Keean had already been working there, and then I started working the Tuesdays as well in November, I think 2023 or December 2023 or something like that. And then when he was like mentioning that he like had a drummer for the show, and I was like so sure he would have already had a bassist, but I was like, hey, just in case you need a bassist, like I got some free time on my hands. And now here we are.
It's amazing how that happens, eh? Sometimes all you have to do is kind of ask or mention it. And,
right.
Yeah.
And then we clued it all in. But yeah.
You got to trust the universe, though. It's all the weird ties that just things just work out too perfectly sometimes.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I tried to do. Like I thought to myself, you know what? Like when the right people kind of come along, then it'll happen and it'll be good times. And the right people came along at the perfect times.
And it is hard finding people sometimes. Like sometimes you have high hopes, but it's a bit of a dud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
So you always kind of bring it in with that kind of like, well, see how it goes type of thing.
Yeah.
I think it was also like 2.5 weeks before the show that Kira and I hopped on.
Yeah. So it was very like, I know, it's so funny. Like it should have been a really high stress situation, but I remember every single rehearsal that we did originally with the two of us and Kira. Shout out to her, who was just so awesome. She's such a great human being, and it was so fun to get to play with her for the first little bit. But yeah, like it should have felt so high stress, like especially because I'm not the greatest composer that there is in the world. I kind of brought these songs into the rehearsal space, and I said, yeah, like I don't know, like I don't have much of an idea.
Nor do you have to be, though.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Like and it was nice for it to feel natural and for it to feel kind of like we were just a jam band, like starting out, and we were really just getting these songs out in the open to see what kind of stuck and what didn't. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what made it so like fun at all those rehearsals. Is it should have felt like it might have been a little nerve-wracking or a little stressful, but it was kind of just like an experiment for all three of us.
Yeah,
really.
I think because it like. For myself, it felt very low pressure, which made it very easy to like want to invest my mental energy into it. So it was, I don't know, it was good.
Yeah.
So the next gig was May 3rd, All Saints event.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
It was
a youth homelessness fundraiser.
Yeah. Yeah, for Operation Come Home. It was yeah, that still to this day I think is like the coolest. That's the coolest show that I've like ever played. No Hits and Hunt Club combined. It was at it used to be All Saints Church on I forget the roads.
I think it's like Laurier West or East. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's off of Laurier West. But yeah, it was so cool. They turned it into essentially like a banquet hall. And you could kind of rent it out to do whatever you wanted there. And it was Andrew from Great Hunter who reached out to Vic at a show at the Womb.
During
R.I.P.
a noise set.
Yeah. And I remember getting the text from Vic, and I looked it up because I had heard of All Saints before, and I was just like, oh, well, that's neat. I wonder if that's a new venue. And then as soon as I saw that we were going to get to play in like a church, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
And it was like even like better than you would have anticipated. Like the room is like, obviously the acoustics are great because it's a church.
Yeah.
And then like the old stained glass is still there and it's beautiful.
Oh, it was
and
so
then
cool.
You've got the old architecture. It's just like,
and they had
this cute little string lights hanging on the top.
They had these beautiful string lights that they put like pretty much across the dance floor, like the hall room, and it just it made for such a cool setting and such a cool vibe.
And then you could also buy beer.
Did you play? You played the All Saints gig? You were in the band?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the band now.
I was in the band at the St. Patty's show.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like 2.5 weeks before that it all went down.
Yeah.
Do you need a bassist?
Oh, I misunderstood then. Okay.
No, that's okay.
So good. So we're rolling now. So live on Elgin was the next gig on May 30th with Victor Complex.
Yes.
Double duty.
Yeah.
Which is always a sweaty night. And then August 26th live on Elgin for the single release of First Train to Southie.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
I mean, the single is called Last Train to Ajax.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, and I think I sent you a message the first time I listened to it. I said, that's a great song.
Yes, and I really appreciated that, man. Yeah, that was It was a nerve-wracking first release because, you know, it kind of like touching back to the no hits thing. It was obviously really cool to see how well the songs that I was able to release with the guys in no hits were received. And I think it was nerve-wracking, and it was tough for me to make that jump, thinking about really, you know, how people were going to take these songs in. And if they thought, you know, if I was worried maybe people were going to expect the same thing that No Hits was doing, and if it wasn't, they would be like, oh, what the hell? This is so sad. Why do you write something so sad?
I'm sorry, but No Hits had some sad ones.
Oh, my God. No Hits absolutely had sad ones.
I wasn't in No Hits. I feel...
We just disguised all our sad music with very high-tempo instrumentals.
It's really, really hard to write happy music.
It is.
Oh, my gosh. I was literally thinking about this like before coming here. I was like, I have such a hard time writing about anything positive, and that is so frustrating.
Yeah, but nobody wants to listen to that either, though.
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean? Nobody wants to listen to happy songs.
That's true.
No,
maybe if you're like 8 years old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Think about like the song "Happy" by Pharrell Williams was literally used in like the Minions movie.
Yeah.
So
you know
like,
what I mean?
you know, it's fitting that a song that's that happy would be put in something that is meant for literally 8-year-olds.
That's true.
Cool.
They don't understand the deep, complex nature and feelings of being so sad.
I'm an artist. I'm gonna sing my pain. So what a great segue for the new single, "Last Train to Ajax." We started the podcast with some no hits, and now we're moving down the timeline. So did you want to introduce the song?
Yeah. So "Last Train to Ajax" is basically a song about longing and a song about just missing someone that you really wanted to have close. And I feel like that's a really relatable feeling, whether it's like a relationship that somebody could have been in where the other person needs to move away for school, or they need to move away for a job, or they're moving away because of family, whether it's a close friend, whether it's an actual family member. Yeah, the song was one of the first ones that I ever wrote while I was still with No Hits, where I felt, you know what, I think this is something that is kind of a little more personal, that will be like an individualized thing for me. And it was also one of the other first songs I wrote away from No Hits, where it felt like it was kind of, I've said this a lot about a lot of the songs that I write, but it really feels like free therapy a lot of the times that I put lyrics down onto paper. Because a lot of the stuff is just...
On the back of the longest song introduction of all time.
Yeah, for real.
This is "Last Train to Ajax." This is the Hunt Club right here on Ego and Vice.
I felt strong until the smoke filled my lungs. And nothing's fucked me up quite like this. You got me so afraid of all I might miss. I've been practicing, waiting in my bed, hoping that one day you'll be back again. I've been working on all my mindfulness. These shades are black and white, but it all keeps blending in my mind. might take it. These songs bum me out in all our playlists, 'cause they remind me of the things that I'm not saying. Over my dead body, you still got me dreaming. Gave you all these walls shake. I can't sit still,
Okay, we're back. So, Live on Elgin is a bit of a recurring theme here, I think. Maybe not, but
Yeah.
with
Totally
with Vic being affiliated with that, with the open mic, which you touched on before.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's the open mic going? Is it still going strong?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy getting to know people who aren't like just in bands, you know, like cause you see a lot of people at shows and it's like the same people that are in the same bands, and like which
You again.
yeah, like it's great. It's great to have like that kind of community, but it's also like nice to see what just like, you know, people who aren't playing shows every 3 weeks are up to, and like what kind of music they're into or like to write, you know?
I think open mics, you have to have a certain kind of tolerance for open mics. Like you might get some people that are like open mic pros who will go up there just because they just want to play, they enjoy playing, but then you get the nervous ones who are kind of new and said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it, and then they do it and they do well. And
No, those guys are great. Those
yeah,
guys are great.
and that's how you kind of discover new stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should tell this on the podcast, but I might edit this out. But you know Andrew LaSalle, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it was actually at Live on Elgin. The first time I ever met him, he went up and he was playing his guitar. He had that seafoam turquoise.
Yeah.
Like it was like a Fender Jaguar or something. And I said, "Look at that guitar." And he was just playing these songs, and I was like, "That guy's really good." And I ended up talking to him that night, and we became friends. This has got to be, it must be 12 years ago, maybe even longer. I don't even know. How long's Live on Elgin been around?
We're coming up on the 10th year.
Okay, so yeah, it was around. It was the reason I was there is because it was kind of new, and it was like the new
Just
thing
starting up. Yeah.
And then his band Holy Christopher at the time.
Yeah.
My band Goat. I think I got him to open. I got him an opening slot. We were playing with this band called Voltang.
Okay.
From Toronto, and Goat. My band was on the bill.
Yeah.
And I said they were looking for an opener, and I said I'll edit this out, but I ended up asking Andrew, could your band play? Are you ready to play? And he said, yeah, we could throw a set together, and it was their very first show.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And we've been like friends ever since.
Hell yeah.
But that's like an open mic experience, which I'm not going to put on the fucking podcast.
Well, no, keep that on there. I think that's great, because absolutely that's like.
Andrew, I know you listen, so I hope that's accurate.
Hi, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Legend. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Young, handsome, strapping lad, and I said,
still handsome, still
very
strapping.
so, very much so. He was just on with Curl.
Yeah, Curl is amazing.
Andrew's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite people. He really is.
I don't know if I should say this, but I got a sneak peek from Jack O'Sullivan of a little curl thing the other day that will be coming out, I think, pretty soon. So that
yeah.
I will say it sounds absolutely unbelievable to the Curl Boys listening and to Jack, who mixed it, because I realized I did not respond to the text that he sent me with the audio file also.
Well,
so this is also my apology to
They
Jack.
did mention something was in the works, but they didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
So
okay.
maybe you've said too much.
Well, I won't say exactly what it is, but it's a curl thing.
Anyway, live on Elgin, November 28th, with local. It was called Local Love.
Love Local.
Yeah.
Love Local. Is that what it was? Oh,
Yeah.
pardon me.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the same.
And that was that a band, or was that the name of the?
So
the event?
It was the name of the event. I wanted to. That was something that I kind of wanted to do when I was in No Hits as well. I've always loved the idea of putting together something where it's not just, like a local show. You can have something else, because I obviously don't mean this in a bad way either. I know that there are a lot of people who come out to shows in the scene. And there are a lot of people who kind of will bring either their partners or their friends, and their friends or their partners are kind of just getting into the local scene and what it is all about, and they're kind of just getting into bands. And not every show that somebody might bring you to will be for you, and obviously that's not a bad thing. But I kind of wanted to do something where there at least might have been something like extra to do between the bands playing that could like just stimulate the brains of the people who might have been at those kind of shows for the first time.
Yeah, some people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that was awesome. So I have these friends at a store called Bad Dog. So shout out to Shan and Luke. They're awesome.
Local business?
Yeah, local business.
Love
Yeah,
it.
they're just up on Bank Street, like in the Glebe.
It's been too long since I've had a business owner on for local business. So send me some links.
I will.
I would definitely have them on.
But yeah, they're two awesome homies, and they've curated some really awesome selections of vintage clothing. They've done some really awesome sales as well too. They just announced today that they're doing like a $5 sale. They do it every year where they just clear out some of their racks and they put a bunch of their clothing on for $5. They do the sale the entire day, and it lasts.
I think that's awesome.
For anything that's left for like a week. But yeah, so we wanted to showcase kind of the stuff that they had in their collection, and kind of tie that into the local scene, which I feel that is something that a lot of, at least a few friends of mine I know have been into and have been looking into when they're not jamming around, or if they're looking just for like little stores to browse.
Live on Elgin. It's on Elgin Street. Go visit it.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday.
Go see Vic at the open mic, and you never know.
Sign up at 7:00.
You never know.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure she'll be nice to you, so it's all good.
Most of the time.
So let's talk about the tour.
Yeah.
The team up of the Hunt Club and Passenger Princess. We all know.
Draining weekends of my life, but I loved every second of
One
it.
of the most eventful weekends of our life.
Now, from what I saw, it was Hamilton, Windsor, and Ottawa were the destinations.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. So you had did you have like, how'd you get around? Did you have like the caravan, couple of cars?
We did one van, and
for everybody?
So Caden's partner,
Katie,
yes, I was about to say Emily, and that's Corey's.
Making people
woof. Not making people up, just confusing partners, which would have
mixing people up.
Which would have been a bad
worse.
run for me. That
Arguably worse.
But yeah, Katie was very kind enough to offer up her car to drive a few people. And then we had a van that we rented on the Hunt Club side, which carried Corey and Grace as well. So it was 6 of us in the van.
Yeah, because we had we had Katie, Corey's partner Emily.
Yep.
And we had another buddy, Ben.
And how did the how were the turnouts in the 3 stops?
I mean, they were awesome. I mean,
okay.
like for me, considering like I was really nervous going into this tour, because the closer I got to the date, the more almost like overly critical of myself I was getting, because I was like, oh, this is such a mistake. Like you don't know anybody. Like the following isn't there. You only have one song out. Like it's so silly to do this.
It's experience.
Then, well, exactly. And like I kind of realized,
friends.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I realized the closer I got to the date is it's not really, the crowd doesn't matter. And like the whole reason that I wanted to do the Hunt Club and I wanted to do these songs was to like just kind of tell stories that I felt a little more personal to me, and just do it for the fun of it, the fun of the music.
That's that's everything.
As much as like maybe the turnout won't be great, it's like okay, but like now you're like in people's brains.
No, exactly.
That's kind of like what I think of whenever like I'm trying to go to a new place for the first time.
Yeah, and you can't expect being kind of like a local band to everywhere you go out of town to have the same kind of show, right?
No, exactly.
No, absolutely not.
And and it's basically cutting your teeth on the road, and the next time you go back to the same place, even if there's like you see a familiar face and there's like 2 more people that they brought with them.
Exactly.
That's the endless grind of touring, right?
Exactly. I think like Passenger Princess like swapped a shirt in Hamilton and then like sold a couple shirts in Windsor. So like the name is at least out there. Hunt Club would have done the same, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we had shirts, but like it's more like about getting to know people also, because if you can build better shows, then you can get a better turnout, but you can't build better shows before you know people.
No, exactly. And that's exactly how I felt through the rest of the run. It was the jitters going into it, and then pretty much like the day before was the day that I really kind of calmed myself down, and I was like, you know what, this is going to be a blast. Like I'm literally
tour's not work. Tour is it depends on where your head's at or what level you're at, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
this is the first tour I've been on that didn't feel like work.
Yeah. It felt like little family vacation.
I love tour because
was so much fun.
It's like a vacation with your friends and you're playing music. Like how does it get any better than that?
Literally. But I think there's like something also so beautiful about like we can call it a vacation, but like maybe when you're a kid you would always associate vacation with like hotel room and like continental breakfast, and we associated this vacation with basement apartment in Milton, Ontario, and Captain Crunch breakfast, and
that's tour,
and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it's awesome.
And
like it's
pogos.
Oh hell yeah, pogos, or is the scientific name that we came up for them on tour was beef pops.
Tour is sleeping on floors and stuff, but that's
exactly
half the fun.
And it's fun. I remember No Hits got lucky with that too on the tour that we did with the new hires, because our drummer's partner had her parents had some connections because he traveled a lot for business and like same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I remember we had a hotel that we booked, and I forget where it was, but it was literally right across from like City Hall in Toronto, and there was like a rooftop pool and everything. And the funniest moment of that tour was I was in the like kind of locker room change room for the pool, and I was putting my stuff away in a little cubby, and there was this he must have been like kind of in mid-60s, but you could tell he was a very professional businessman. Like he was staying in this hotel multiple times when he came for business trips, and he looked at me and he was so friendly, and he said, "Oh, I love coming to this pool. You know, it's my favorite place to swim whenever I'm here for a business trip. I always book this hotel." And I was like, "Oh, what a nice guy." And he goes, "Yeah, so what brings you to town?" And I said, "Oh, well, my band's playing at Sneaky D's tonight."
As you're there with
and he just kind of like gave me the
floaties.
strangest look, and I could tell it was, how the hell can you afford to stay in this hotel when you're touring and playing a Sneaky D's sort of thing?
Keean's talking to a dude in a suit while he's got like little water
I got my water
wings
and like
floaty.
a little unicorn floaty around my waist.
No,
I'm just here because I like the pool.
I just like to play music, actually.
But yeah, it is funny seeing like the kind of the duality of man when it comes to tour like that. It's cool to get those little moments of the living in style, but then I don't know, I wouldn't trade what we had on this past tour for anything.
My God, no,
I think that
no.
You know what that guy was thinking?
So
you know what that guy was
fun.
thinking? He's thinking, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't.
I wish I did that in my life.
Literally.
No, like I don't think it could have gone any better. Like minus Corey getting sick. Rest in peace, Corey getting sick for the Windsor show, and shout out to Adam for filling in.
For real, man. For real. Yeah, there was so many things that happened on that tour that just made it so crazy and so eventful, and just the amount of stories that we have.
So is there going to be a part 2 anytime soon?
I would definitely hope so.
Montreal?
Yeah, would definitely hope so. I'm sure it will happen.
I hope so. Yeah, for sure. That'd be a lot of fun. Great experience. Hang out with your friends. Play music. It's a privilege.
Yes.
It really is.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it really is.
Enjoy every second of it. Last show was March 9th at the Rainbow.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what is coming up? Like, what does 2025 look like for the Hunt Club?
2025 looks like more music releases for sure, and like actually a little more consistent with that. Gonna do a few more shows.
There's one in the works.
We have one in the works right now. I won't give away release date or anything yet, but we do have one in the works.
A song or
yes, a song.
Oh. What do they call the second? A sophomore?
Yeah.
Sophomore release?
The sophomore release.
Ooh, that's the tough one.
Yeah.
That's all the pressure on the sophomore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if we can live up to the expectation.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as that other one though.
Yeah. It's not as good as that first Train to Southie.
I think it's a good follow-up. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
But it's like good.
If you end up like calling it that, you owe me like royalties or something.
I will.
This is all recorded.
I'll get my people in touch with your people.
I have proof. I have proof that exists. That I said that. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so we got that. In terms of a show, we're kind of trying to work on one close to when the release of that song will be out. Yeah, just sort of playing it by ear and going with the flow.
Awesome.
There is. Actually, I won't give away the details of what it is, but there is something in relation to Live on Elgin and their anniversary coming up that I might be helping out with. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Everyone,
friends and family,
yeah, definitely
friends and family of Live on Elgin, supposedly.
Friends and family.
Keep your ears to go to ottawagigs.ca.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And go to ottawagigs.ca.
Follow the Hunt Club and Victor Complex and Passenger Princess. 13 questions with the band. We're going to play.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Time for 13 questions with the band. Yes, this segment's back again. It's called 13 questions, but I only asked 6, maybe 5.
Okay, 13 questions with the Hunt Club.
Yeah.
What was the very first physical music you ever bought with your own money, like CD, record, tape, whatever you want to... Have you ever bought physical
I have,
music?
and it's a really shameful first buy looking back on it now. It was Famous Last Words by Headley.
Ooh.
Was the first CD I ever bought with my own money.
Jacob Hogarth. Hogarth?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fuck that guy.
Yeah, so fuck them, but that was sadly the first thing I ever bought.
I think my first piece of physical media was For Your Entertainment by Adam Lambert.
Nice.
That's okay.
That's so much better than mine.
He's like the Queen singer now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adam Lambert?
He also
was that guy can sing.
He was like one of the American Idol winners.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he like fills the shoes of fucking Freddie Mercury.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
He's been that guy.
Yeah.
What was your first live concert you ever saw?
Mine was it was a twofer. I went to Blues Fest with my mom and I saw Don McLean and Sam Roberts band on the same day. That was pretty cool.
Just
go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
I saw Avril Lavigne when I was 8.
Nice.
Don McLean. If you would have said Ron McLean from Hockey Night in Canada, I would have been what?
Yeah. But yeah, well, my mom, I didn't really have a whole interest in seeing Don McLean. It was more my mom and two of her friends that dragged me off to see that, and then she was like, "Okay, we can go and see Sam Roberts."
Didn't Avril Lavigne invent punk rock?
She really did.
She really did.
Right on.
She invented skateboarding, actually.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And then she died, and Melissa took her over.
Yeah, I don't even remember skateboarding before Avril Lavigne.
The Avril Lavigne body double lore.
Let's see.
Sorry, not lore. True story.
It's a true story. Yeah. She's dead.
Here on Ego and Vice, we try not to spread false information.
Misinformation. But you can look that up on the internet if you feel so.
It's an interesting conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we'll say it's fake news, ladies and gentlemen. Fake news.
I don't. Yeah.
What was the last live show you went and saw?
Neon Ghost House at House of Targ. Was the actual the legitimate last live show that I saw. For concert hall venue, it was I saw a band called Palace from the UK at the Beanfield Theatre in Montreal, formerly known as the Corona Theatre.
Vic?
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure the last concert hall show I saw was Neck Deep at Danforth with the home team in Like Roses, but unfortunately I was in the merch line the whole time, so I missed the home team set. And then I think the last local show I went to was the Jesse's Birthday Madanza, actually, the Soul Thief show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of a band called The Good, the Bad, and the Zugly?
No.
You should check them out.
Good, Bad, and the Zugly.
They're fucking super good.
I'm going to put that in my notes right now.
Mm-hmm. They have a song called The Before and the After, and it's probably my favorite song of all time. And I just kind of found them maybe, say, a year ago.
Cool.
So good. Yeah, at first you'll listen to them and you'll be like, what is this shit? And then it just gets, yeah. Anyway, it's really good. Okay. Have you ever asked anyone for an autograph?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
And why?
I mean, I've asked a lot of people for autographs. I think the funniest one was back when I played like baseball as a little kid. You would always get the free tickets to go and see like whatever the Ottawa baseball team was at the time. Mm-hmm. And at the time they were the Ottawa Rapids, I believe. And I went up to the guy in the dugout, and I completely forget what his name was, but his last name was Lemieux, and the only thing in my head that I connected that with was like Mario Lemieux, the hockey player. So I was like, this guy has to be famous. And I went up and I asked for his autograph, and
how many Lemieux can there be?
No, exactly. And I called him Mr. Lemieux, and I remembered 3 of his teammates around him just like lost their minds laughing because they thought that was the funniest thing. They're like, Mr. Lemieux, oh my God. Oh, I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, that's so cute.
But that's probably like my funniest one.
Vic?
Yeah.
I don't remember asking anyone for their autograph. I'm too anxious to go up to people. But I remember I went to a Harlem Globetrotters game again when I was like 10 years old or something like that. And then we got them to sign a basketball.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Still got it?
No, sadly. I wish.
Sold it for money.
Have you ever signed an autograph?
I have, yes. I have.
When, where, why?
It was actually really cute. No Hits used to play this campground called Waterways. Also another connection with our drummer and their family, the Flannery clan. I'll give them a shout out. But yeah, there was this little kid who was part of a family who watched us the summer before, and we were kind of hanging out with them a little bit before the show, just doing some drawings and paintings and whatever. And I
can tell you're a songwriter because you're a paint the
picture,
paint
sorta.
the picture of the event,
paint the scene,
like we were all there, kind of storyteller.
But yeah, he ended up buying a No Hits.
I think he painted the sky blue. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was green.
I'm pretty sure the stick figure
it
had
was kind of like that broccoli green, not really the asparagus green.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He was drawing a top hat, or was it a boiler hat?
Anywho.
I couldn't actually remember.
Oh.
But yeah, he bought a No Hits shirt, and we ended up all of us signed the back of it for him. So that was pretty cool. That was like the first autographs that we ever did.
A couple times. There's like a photographer local named Tom Linden who used to like shoot for my old band Pink Cloud Summer all the time, and one time he came to one of our shows with like prints of like pictures from a show he had previously shot for us and asked us to sign them, which was really fun. It was really cool. And then when Passenger Princess opened for the Anti-Queens, there was someone there who said they were a big fan of ours and wanted us to sign, I think it was a set list for him. I can't remember, but it was really awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
I always get the I've been asked for an autograph a few times.
Oh my God, no. One time when I played with Holly Akers, it was in, I think, Lindsay. Some guy got me to sign his chest.
Average Lindsay, Ontario.
Then he ran out and got it tattooed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that was the strangest one.
If you are that man from Lindsay.
Shout out to you, sir.
What is your favorite song today?
Ooh. One of my friends has been sending me a lot of Panic at the Disco stuff on TikTok lately. I cannot vouch for Brendan Urie as a person, but Time to Dance by Panic at the Disco has been something that has been circulating my brain the last couple days.
Stuck on the old mental turntable, is it?
Yeah, and it's been playing pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Have some composure.
Oh man, okay. I'm not generally, I would say your Graduation. I'm not really like much of like an indie pop gal, but Night Shift by Lucy Dacus has, oh my God, it has a chokehold on me.
Unbelievable song.
So good.
We're going to get dark here for a minute. What do you want your epitaph to read? The air has been...
That's such... God, that's a really good question. What do I want my epitaph to read? He was a chiller. I don't... You know what? I kind of like it because this is now a positive, showing that I haven't like kind of thought about that thing in a little while. Before I used to think about that so constantly.
Your epitaph?
Yeah.
Or just dying in general? Just
dying in general. I'm just like, oh, I wonder what. I don't know. I would like it to read that I was a good friend, fun to be around, beer drinker.
Read like a dating app profile.
Comedy lover. Yeah, I'd want my epitaph to read like a dating
horses.
profile.
I like horses.
Long walks on the beach. I don't know. I would like it just to, I don't know. I think just remembering me as a good friend and a decent songwriter.
Cool.
I don't even know if I'd want an epitaph because it's like everyone can have their own thoughts. I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
That's kind of what I was struggling with too.
Yeah,
like you know what? Like I don't know what. I don't like perceiving myself.
If someone close to me wants to write one, cool, but I don't have any notes. Take it as you will.
2 days before you go, just give it to your best friend. Here, you got to write this about me.
Cool. So, you're talking about like an obituary, an epitaph.
Oh no, I'm talking about an epitaph.
An epitaph,
yeah.
just like the sentence that's written on the tombstone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like horses. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a couple more, and then we're gonna have to time constrainingly end the podcast. If the Hunt Club could open for any artist, who would it be?
God, that's a tough one, dude. Do you want to each give like our own answer? Who personally like who we would want to open for?
We can, but I have a different answer for every project that I'm in.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
So like who would be your answer as like a member
I
of the
feel
Hunt
like I feel like you would say like City and Color.
Like kinda, but I feel like for this project I don't know if I would. It's also just because I've heard so many horror stories about Dallas Green being a really mean person. But
he probably wouldn't talk to you, so you wouldn't have to worry.
Yeah, it's true. We would probably just get to do our own thing.
Just steal his crowd. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. God, might be obscure, but there's this band called Horse Jumper of Love. I would love to open for them. I feel like that would be a really cool show.
I have one. Amigo the Devil.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good pick.
That would be cool for the Hunt Club.
That's a very good pick.
Okay, and last question for 13 questions with the Hunt Club.
Ooh.
Good Southie crew. If each of you could have a drink or a meal or something with anyone, who would it be?
I've said Stevie Nicks before. I need to pick someone else.
JD Vance, just to pick his brain. Really
Oh,
understand why he is
one.
the way he is.
Did you
It's a joke. I would never sit down with that person.
Did you see the whole Pope thing where he
Yes.
He was like
yes.
he visited the Pope and then the Pope died?
Oh my god.
The Pope was too scared.
Yeah, the Pope was like, "This is what people are turning into."
What's going on? Something's rotten in fucking Rome. Anyway,
JD Vance Air.
Inside Job by JD Vance.
Oh.
I think I would want to sit down with.
Okay, I have one. If you're still thinking, I have one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would want to have a chit chat with Courtney Love, not because I like.
That's a good one.
Totally
That's a really
agree with her or like love everything she says.
you guys do that whole song now too, eh?
Yes.
Doll Parts? Is that what that is?
Pardon?
Doll Parts?
Doll Parts is a good one.
Princess?
We covered Violet.
Violet, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Nice.
But I think she has a very interesting place in the Seattle grunge scene. And like specifically as like a woman in the Seattle grunge scene and a woman who got a lot of public hate, I think it would just be very interesting to pick her brain if she was willing.
You said living or
whatever you want,
or whichever I want.
It's your question, whatever you need.
I'm in between two right now. I would either pick. I just realized that they're also both double M names, which I think is hilarious. I would either pick Maddie Matheson or Mac Miller. I think so. For living, it would be Maddie Matheson. For dead, it would be Mac Miller. I feel like both of them just have a lot of interesting stories, and I'd love to pick their brains about their way to their fame.
Mac Miller, Maddie Matheson.
Yeah.
All right.
Matheson, Maddie Miller.
This is Mike Matani signing off. Ego Invites.
Another one.
Triple double M.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Trifecta.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was really fun to get this done after so much prep work.
It was a blast.
Very briefly, any last thank yous or shout outs? Don't thank the entire music scene.
Yeah. I've already rambled enough. Thank you to having us. This
anytime.
Is such it's just always fun to chat with the homie and make new friends. I think just thank you to everybody that's come out to a show so far, and thank you to all the friends and family that have supported not only No Hits but this. It's just really fun to get to do this as a hobby and to see how many people genuinely do care about the stuff that we're putting out. It's really heartwarming.
I think I'd want to shout out like the other people that we've played with, because we've had Kira. Shout out to Kira.
Yeah, Kira's awesome.
And
Robin,
the trumpet player we had for the church show.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, check out No Hits. Absolutely check out the Hunt Club. Check out Passenger Princess. Check out Victor Complex. And support Ottawa music. Thank you so much for coming. And let's do this again, maybe a 2-year later series or something.
Oh, yeah.
And we never know.
Oh, yeah.
I always say, keep in touch. You never know.
Yeah.
And we will.
So all the best.
All the best to you too, Mike.
Same to you.
It's not your problem anymore. Don't you dare put the blame on me. You gotta flip it around. You used to pick me up whenever, and now the only way I see is if you're putting me down. And she says, why can't you just grow the fuck up for one? Oh, you piss me off. You haven't been the same in the last few months. She said you're too old to act this young. And baby, you're too old to love me. Baby, you're too old to act this young. And baby, you're too old to love me. She's begging, please, 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 don't you walk out the door. She's dropped down to both
If you want to get a hold of me, you can always reach me at egoandvice@gmail.com. If you want to listen to the podcast, go to egoandvicepodcast.com. It's the home base, the HQ, the fortress of solitude for all things Ego and Vice. Links, episodes, merch. Just go there. Anyway, that's it. We're running a little long, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Vic and Keean for a fun time. And, like I said, May and June is very busy. So, here we go. See you next week.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.